This is criminal summoning. That's AMR, criminal summoning, and stalking by helicopter. There you go. Upland Police Department. Flying right over. This is where the entity keeps a fake sun all day. That's criminal summoning by American Medical Response. All right, and while you're documenting the entity, as I'm speaking to the entity that's engaging in that POC, the entity engaging in that very same pattern of conduct, this is the entity that's monitoring documentation and specifically engages in that pattern of conduct. I want to be clear, the Upland Unified School District engaging in terrorism. This is the San Bernardino County Fire Department. They're engaged in terrorism. They're monitoring. The entity is group stalking via the people. The Upland City Hall is engaging the POC. That was a minion that was walking out. She's crossing path while the entity is sounding sirens and flying over, approaching by helicopter. Okay, it's currently 9:35 a.m. Molly Super, that's a venue and relevant position. They're monitoring. That is the entity that is maintaining presence through the people of the state along what is Arrow Highway. This is First Avenue and Second Avenue. This is D Street, and this is Euclid Avenue. All right, this is the pattern of conduct. It's currently 9:35 a.m. and that is the entity's engagement in concert with, and that is actually the Upland Police Department itself that's engaging in that with American Medical Response. That's called criminal summoning. All right, and you can use literally the venues, the people of the state that live right here. That's documentation. They're engaged in that pattern of conduct, including the minion whose law office is right here at Arrow Highway at this end of the street. The Grossman Law Center engaging in criminal summoning on Euclid Avenue. This is relevant positioning. They're all monitoring together. This is how you're documenting, and this is prosecution for that. This is the grounds of federal prison. The entity is engaging. You've got the market, the liquor market, Sam's Market right here at Arrow Highway. They're monitoring. They're engaging in terrorism with the entity. There's another Sammy's 5 Market right here across the street. They are monitoring with the entity that flies over me by helicopter, facilitation while the use of sirens under what is, again, the light source, which remains right here directly over me. And it is 9:35, 9:36 a.m. Documentation already exists where I am literally documenting the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department in Rancho Cucamonga. This is not possibly the sun, in other words, not the natural environment where they are engaging in this conduct. 9:35 a.m. recall documentation, April 8, 2022. I'm also being in Pomona at the same time inside of the Starbucks at 101 Mission Boulevard. This is the same precise pattern of conduct. And while the entity is engaging in this iteration, while I'm speaking of the Ontario Police Department on my podcast, as I capture that video, this is why the entity engages in it. It is the direct evidence against the entity. They're group stalking at the Upland City Hall. This is the state facilitating venue. He is crossing path, but everybody inside of the venue is engaging in this criminal system. All right, this is state surveillance. And this is how an entity engages in terrorism, by the way. It is currently 9:37 a.m. and this is the placement of the light source, which is in direct violation of literally scientific facts. The sun is not going to remain over me, where I am at the same time, again, not only in, for example, Fontana, and it's central like this, just like this over my head in Fontana, inside of the Starbucks in Pomona, California, at the intersection of Hellman and I believe 9th Street in Rancho Cucamonga, where the entity is stalking by helicopter at this same exact time. And this would is not possibly the sun. This is stalking with light, while the entity is stalking by helicopter and stalking by the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, as I documented April 8th, 2022. All right, this is the pattern of conduct. It's 9:37 a.m. and this is POC.